We're talking about species in the family of mustelids. There's 12 or 13 otter species, depending on who you ask. Which in itself is a huge red flag, if you ask me. Nobody asks me, unfortunately. They should, but they don't. But the fact that we cannot even put a number to how many species there are should scare you. Does it scare you? I hope it scares you guys. It should scare you guys. It keeps me up at night. No, it doesn't. The Adderall keeps me up at night. But it would keep me up at night. And on this World Otter Day, I feel it is necessary that I teach you all how to keep the otter menace at bay. Day, bay, gay. I'm just rhyming things now. They may look cute, but they'll kill you. They will rip your throat right out. Maybe. I might be making that one up. But please, if you ever feel like you're being tricked by an otter, look to my left, right here. Look at my fancy future ball, and remember who took everything from you. Just remember. Now then, I have a few points to go over today. Hello, Toesman. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you will be learning this very good life skill. I will be issuing certificates at the end of the course. No, I will not be. I should, though. I should, and I should sign them. But anyway. I have 5 major points to go over, and then I will tell you how to defeat an otter. And I'll tell you a little bit about each individual species, too, and their weak points. You're not going to get this information anywhere else, folks. Not even Wikipedia. Well, maybe Wikipedia. But ain't no chat GPT gonna be telling you how to defeat an otter. Probably. I mean, I don't really know. I suppose... I mean, I haven't checked. But... nonetheless. Is this like a Pokemon battle? Yeah. This is like a Pokemon battle. And the typing is... otters are otter type, and you are punt them type. You could just be like... right in the face. Anyway. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you the first sort of point that you need to know when it comes to these little devious fucks. Excuse my language. I should probably not swear as a teacher. I should probably not swear. But look at now it's even they're even floating. They're even floating, you guys. Otters and their allies are everywhere. That's the first thing I need you guys to know. They're everywhere. No matter where you think they might not be, they are actually there. They do be there. They do be everywhere. Manager, but I didn't know that you could go through dimensions like that. It's pretty cool of you. Manager, buddy, why don't you go behind the slide layer? There you go. Now, what do I mean by this? What am I talking about when I say that they're everywhere? The only continents without otters are Australia and Antarctica. I repeat, the only continents without otters are Australia and Antarctica. Those are the only 2 places where you will be safe. So most of you are probably not safe. As a matter of fact, the only person I can think of that would be safe is our mod Parlath, because he's an Aussie. But the rest of you, not safe, unsafe. Completely unprotected. No otter condom. Thank you, Mate Chan. She just gave me a kiss. And they live everywhere. Deserts. Or actually, no, they don't live in deserts. So if you live in a desert, you're doing good. Polar regions, mountains. Those are the 3 places where they don't live. They live everywhere else. Oceans, forests, rivers, streams, everywhere. They are everywhere. There's probably one in your freaking house right now. I don't know. I'm not an expert, except that I am. As a matter of fact, the most widely distributed otter is the Eurasian otter, which lives in Europe and North Africa and Asia. Isn't that messed up? That's so messed up. By the way, here's that little bastard. Little fucking Eurasian otter. You know what? I'm not even gonna apologize for swearing. I'm not even gonna apologize for swearing this time around. Because you need to know. They can live, they try to avoid urban areas, but due to, you know, the sort of speed at which humans grow and expand, it's hard for them to completely avoid urban areas. By the way, otters live in both water and land. I mean, you guys probably knew that already, but I really want you guys to think about that, okay? You are not safe. Doesn't matter how good you are at swimming or running. Doesn't matter if you run up that hill or that building. Doesn't matter if you're Kate Bush. Don't matter. You're gonna get wrecked by an otter. I need you to understand that. It's very important. Do you guys understand? Yes, chef! Okay, thank you. Sorry, I heard that Kitchen Nightmares is coming back with Gordon Ramsay, and I'm really excited about that. I do love me some human reality shows. Now, granted, the sea otter, and we'll go over the individual species of otter later. But the sea otter rarely comes on land, but that just means it's better in the water. You might think, well, I can go into the air. They've probably got alliances with eagles and shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What if you get a submarine? Then you could blow those damn otters up. Get a nuclear submarine. That's the only thing that'll take them out. By the way, otters are so good at making houses, by which I mean they steal them. They're little thieves, they're little bastards. They take dens from other wildlife. They steal from hardworking beavers. They take beaver dams. They can live on rocks, they can live on driftwood. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? And as I said, there are 12 or 13, depending on who you ask, species of otter in the mustelid family. 12 or 13. Again, red flag that they can't even tell you how many there are. But there's so many. There's so many. By the time you know they're there, it's already too late. They didn't want to make The Last of Us about otters because it was going to be too realistic. As mustelids, by the way, they are related to skunks, weasels, wolverines, badgers. Those guys. And they are the largest members of the weasel family. They are the biggest weasels. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Utterly deplorable. And they probably don't vote, so, I mean, completely separate from society, antisocial, uncivilized, barbaric. So they're everywhere. That's one of the primary reasons why they will mess you up at some point in your life. It's only a matter of time. It's not even a matter of if, it's when. You're gonna get nailed by an otter. There's probably one looking for you right now. And that's not a good thing, either. There's no making friends with an otter. You know why there's no making friends with an otter? I'll tell you why. They are carnivorous. They eat a lot. One day, they're gonna turn their eyes on you. It's true. You know how much otters eat in a day? How much do you guys think otters eat in a day? In terms of like their body weight, like percentage. I'll give you a hint. Way too fucking much. Way too much. Absolute affront to God. Hello, Senpai. Welcome. Why the eyes so dominant? I'm glad, Dom Energy, because you know what? I need you guys to listen to me about otters. Today I am your otter warning, mommy dummy. If there was ever a time I needed you all to listen, it is now. You're a brat? Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You're gonna go play rigged games with the otters? Terrible. Atrocious. Awful. Deplorable. Otters, by the way, to answer your question, by which I mean my question, because I asked it. I was the one who asked the question. Otters eat 20 to 30% of their own body weight every day. Every day they eat up to 30% of their body weight. Considering some otters can weigh up to about 60 pounds, which is the size of a medium-sized dog. Size of a big dog at that point. That's a lot. That's 20 pounds of food. That's a whole small dog's worth of food. They have a very high metabolism. They need it to stay warm in their habitat. They burn a lot of calories. What do they eat? They eat fish, they eat frogs, they eat turtles, insects, snakes, lobsters, crayfish, all that kind of thing. But they also eat small mammals. And what are you guys but small mammals? You guys are small mammals. Did Otterbox sponsor this stream? I wish. If they did, they probably would never sponsor me ever again. If you have an otter and give it a litter box now an otter box. No, I think it's still a litter box because that property has not changed. By the way, I have a big fact about otter shit later. We'll talk about it. It's terrible. So otters are carnivorous. They can eat small mammals, and you are all small mammals. They need to eat probably, my cat Dum Dum was under my feet and I did not know she was there. Hello, Dum Dum. Ah, thank you for the subscription. It is over my face. My sexy little face, thank you. My cat Dum Dum wants to know how to defeat the otter menace. I'm glad they're sending you. They're true, mostly. So in short, even if you think that they're not going to come for you, they will, because they're hungry. And they want human toes and fingies. They're like little Vienna sausages to them. But you think, can I not reason with the otter? Can I not tell the otter that he is good? Does the otter not have a mind of its own? It does. But otters are vengeful. Almost every single otter species is at least threatened. Most are endangered. That means they want revenge. All otters are filled with a great vengeance. Imagine playing 2 facts, 1 line, it's only otter information. That's actually a good idea for a stream, but for a general animal stream, I'll have to write that down. Thank you for that. I'm glad it's funny, but it's also very serious. It's also very serious. Most otters are endangered. Most are endangered, and the ones that aren't are threatened, which is like a step up from endangered. Their hearts are full of vengeance. Only one otter species is least concern. Least concern means that they're not endangered at all. How do we know this? From the IUCN. That is an international sort of body of researchers and such who monitor these things. When we talk about endangered species and all that, we know from their research and collecting of data. So I'm not just making this up. You might be thinking, Iris, well, you said that most are endangered. What about is there one that isn't? There's one that isn't, but that's even worse because that means there's more of them. So they're either angry or numerous and angry. It's the North American river otter, by the way, which means, yes, your bear is in danger at all times. I live in North America. There's probably river otters right across the street from me. They're least concern. But that just means there's tons of them. And one day I'll wake up with them pulling apart my limbs. Why are otters endangered? There's many, many, many reasons. And it depends on the part of the world you're talking about and the species. But let me tell you something. Mostly, it's the usual suspects: habitat destruction, pollution, but also poaching and overfishing. Humans do be fishing a lot. That is why these nasty little freaks are losing their numbers. And we'll talk more about that later. We'll talk more about how to defeat the otter at the end of the stream. Now then, another thing you humans might be thinking is, well, I am a large human. Few animals will attack a human unprovoked. I'm safe. But you're wrong. They do attack humans. Do not be deceived. Otters attack humans. Now, granted, it's fairly rare, but they do. They do attack humans. November 2021. About 20 otters ambushed a British man in Singapore. I'm dead serious. He was in his 60s. Wife, please. This is a serious matter. Do not make fun of this poor man. Does my insurance cover the Otter Gang drive-by? I hope it does. I hope we never have to find out. But yes, this happened in November of 2021, just 2 years ago. This guy was in his 60s. He was in Singapore. He was ambushed by 20 otters, 20 of them. He weighed over 200 pounds, and he was trampled and bitten. That's just the most recent crime. There have been 44 reported otter attacks since the 1800s. You might be thinking that's pretty rare, but it's not zero. 44 since the 1800s is not zero. Don't ever think that you're safe. One even resulted in death. One resulted in serious injury. So your chances of being killed by an otter are never zero. Do you understand? Just like your chances of being killed by a bunny are never zero. My manager, Bunny, can confirm that. By the way, most of these attacks happened in Florida. Here in the United States. Which comes as a surprise to no one. My heart goes out to Florida at this time. Terrible place. Full of bigots and otters. Thoughts and prayers for Florida. I keep saying we should just sort of saw it off, but you know, saw it off and let the otters float away. But the otters would just swim through the ocean and come back to shore, so wouldn't do anything. Now, about 40% of those otter attacks involved otters that had rabies. And that's even worse, because if you get bitten by something with rabies, you could get rabies. And even if you catch it, you have to go through a series of really awful shots in the stomach. Really awful injections in the stomach. It's not a fun time. Toesman asked, do otters vote? They do not vote. They are civically irresponsible. They are amoral. As the picture next to me says. They're appalling. Apathetic. Antisocial. Aggressive. And... have I said atrocious yet? Atrocious. That. Yes. Now you might be thinking, Iris. Otters seem useful to the ecosystem. Should we be kicking them in the face? To which I answer, no. Wait, no. Yes, you should be kicking them in the face. Sorry, I forgot my own question. I forgot my own question for a second. This is what happens. This is what happens when I do these streams. I forget what I'm doing. They have convinced humans of their usefulness, but do not let yourself be tricked. They're like AI bots. They only know what they've been fed. What they've been fed. What they've been fed, folks, is blood. Blood and murder. Criminality. They buy PS5s and they sell them on the black market. They steal books. They sell NFTs. That is the otter lifestyle. Completely divorced of all rationality. See this little guy here? He may look cute. That's only because he wants to get close to you and ruin your life and your credit score. Otters may have convinced you all of their usefulness, but do not be deceived. Yes, it is true that the presence of a healthy otter population means that the local ecosystem is also healthy. That is true. It is true that when otters leave an ecosystem, it's because the ecosystem is polluted. Or there's been too many humans around shitting all over things. It's very true. Otters will leave an ecosystem very quickly. They need a lot of food. Remember, I said they need a lot of food? They need a heck ton of food. So, when their prey disappears, they will disappear as well. They will go to greener pastures, so to speak. And otters are generally at the top of the food chain or very close to it. Therefore, when there's a lot of pollution in an ecosystem, it travels upwards to them. Because things at the bottom of the ecosystem food chain will eat a lot of pollutants, and then it'll become concentrated at the top where the otters are. But don't be fooled. They still suck. And you still need to punt them like little footballs whenever you see them. Otters are almost as bad as humans. At least otters are cute, I guess. Humans are stinky and ugly. You know what's even worse than this? They may be important to ecosystems, but are they important to you humans? Yes. In Bangladesh, the country of Bangladesh, there are fishermen that use smooth-coated otters to help them fish. They keep them as, I suppose, as working pets. Already they have ingratiated themselves into this society. This is dangerous. They've integrated themselves. They've become useful to people. But remember, they are not useful to you. They want to sell you NFTs and take a shit on your bed. They want to steal your wife and convince your kids that you're a bad father or mother, depending on how you identify. So don't let their usefulness for the ecosystem and their usefulness to those fishermen in Bangladesh fool you. They're gonna hurt you. They're gonna hurt you right in the heart. But there's good news. I can tell you very easily how to defeat an otter. Otters are very, very, very simple creatures. If you don't let them get the jump on you, you can get the jump on them. For instance, you got a cat? You know anybody that has a cat? You're pretty well protected. Why? Because otters are actually very susceptible to toxoplasmosis. It's true. My wife just laughed, but it's true. Toxoplasmosis is a parasite that is found in cat shit. And it actually it destroys these guys very quickly because cat litter tends to get in the water in many places. Since a lot of people will just flush cat litter down the drain, you shouldn't do that. Or it'll just get into the water in other ways. But they are very, very susceptible to toxoplasmosis. So that's one way to defeat them. Arm yourself with cat shit. Go to your neighbor who has a cat. If you don't have a cat yourself, go to your neighbor who has a cat and be like, "Can I please borrow some cat poop?" I'm sure they will oblige. I'm sure they will oblige. Another thing. One of the biggest threats to otters, sea otters more specifically, oil spills. Now, oil spills suck. They're very bad for most things, but in an apocalyptic scenario, last sort of defense against the otter menace, we spill all the oil we have. I don't recommend that as a first line of defense, but when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and we contact BP for a little bit of a favor. Have river otters been discussed yet, or are just sea otters being spoken of? Hello, Sweet Scheme. We've not spoken about a specific species yet, but we are going to in a second. I'm speaking in general how to defeat the otter menace. Now, if you don't have a cat, and you don't have a favorite call-in with BP, easiest way to defeat otters with a fishing net. They're dumb. They get tangled up with fishing nets and their little stupid heads die. Ruin them with the fishing nets. Overfish, eat all the fish, destroy their ecosystem. That is how you defeat the otter menace. So, those are some general tips about defeating the otter menace. But it's also good for you to know how to defeat them species by species, because again, there are 12 to 13 species of otters. 12 to 13, and each one has its own weakness and strength. Some are fire types, and some are steel types, and some evolve when you trade them to other Pokemon trainers and such. Let me go through them real quick. We're gonna talk about each species. Tell you a little bit about it. Eurasian otter. Do not be fooled. Oh my goodness! Wait, hold on. Get away, otter. Hello! Hello, Drowsy Doppel. Thank you for the raid. Hello. And hello, Raiders. Hello, Raiders. Please eat my construction paper. I have too much of it. I buy it whenever it's on sale at Joann's. Hello. Greetings, Raiders. Hello. And thank you, Drowsy. My name is Iris Polaris. Let me introduce myself. My name is Iris Polaris. I use any pronouns. I am a magical bear who lives at the zoo. I do role-playing game streams and puzzle game streams and sim game streams. Those are also I can learn more about human culture. But also, I do some nature streams and some witchcrafty streams like tarot card readings and astrology. Welcome. Oh, thank you for gifting a sub, Fluffy. Oh, I appreciate it. Enjoy the sub. Enjoy the sub, everyone's ranker, and thank you for the follow. Thank you for gifting a sub to the bot. The bot doesn't deserve it, but that's fine. Everybody should go follow Drowsy Doppel. I'm gonna do that right now. Bam, follow. Bam, follow. Bam, follow. There we go. I kept missing. Oh, and a sub back to Fluffy. Look at all this stuff happening right now. Oh, and another follow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cat Bag. Hype train. Hype train coming, a choo choo, choo choo choo, choo 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 choo, Choo 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 choo. Choo 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 choo. Choo. A free punch cat bag. All for you. All for you. My dear good friend. Now then. Today, Raiders, I've been teaching the people about how to defeat otters because otters are a menace. And I was just about to talk about how to defeat each individual species of otter, right as you guys walked in. So this is a good time to have come to hang out. They are cute, but don't be deceived, don't be fooled. They are nefarious, you are so right, Fluffy. This is real, it's not clickbait. It says right there on my sign. Real, not clickbait. Oh, thank you everyone's ranker. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the gift subs. And my wife just gave me a salad. Now then. This is the Eurasian otter. Sorry, I was chewing on a piece of chicken. Oh, thank you for the bits. Oh my goodness. Hype train. Chugga 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 choo choo. Chugga 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 choo choo. Level 2 hype train. In honor of punting otters. Eurasian otters are found everywhere in Europe, and everywhere in Asia, and even in parts of northern Africa. Thank you for the bits, Toesman! I don't know why I put the message over my face. I'll have to move that at some point. But, thank you. These crunchy bits are keeping me energized while I tell you guys all about the danger you are in. Eurasian otters. Oh. Hype train level 3, I think now. Hype train. Thank you for a gift sub. Hype, 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 hype. You know what? I'm gonna take a minute to eat my salad then, if we're gonna just hype for a second. It's a tasty salad that has chicken in it. It's very, very good. You guys are the best, by the way. Like, in all seriousness. I really appreciate you. All this, you know, these subs and stuff are going to my bills. And my rent and things like that. So thank you. I'm gonna eat my salad for a second, and then we'll go get back to ranting about otters. I'm a zookeeper now, bitch. Thank you, manager buddy. It's a good hat. I've actually never seen my zookeepers wear a hat like this, but they should. Maybe they'd be less ugly. Maybe I'd make fun of them less if they had some drip like this. Alright, one last bite of salad. Okay. Now then. Eurasian otters are the most widespread of the otters. They can weigh up to 25 pounds, which is about 12 kilos. You find them again in Europe, Asia, and even North Africa. But you need to be aware. Their superpower, like many otters, they mark their territory with their own shit. Be aware of that. If you're anywhere and you smell poop, it's probably an otter. You might be thinking, well, Iris, I smell poop in my house sometimes. I have IBS. Doesn't matter. It's probably an otter. It's called spraints, by the way. Spraints, by the way. Otters marking their territory with poop that's a spraint, an otter spraint. Many otters do it, but it's good for you to know that Eurasian otters do it as well. Now then, the next species you need to know about, the hairy-nosed otter. I don't know why it's called that. Its nose does not look any more or less hairy than other otters, which just goes to show that they are liars, and they are prideful, and they are arrogant. I'm gonna eat another piece of chicken. Hairy-nosed otters are found in one place, Southeast Asia. It is a very rare otter species. Weighs about 20 pounds, like 8 kilos. Very difficult to identify. There's only one in captivity that we know of. So there's only one at like a zoo that we know of. It's probably one of the rarest otter species, but that's just gonna make it more angry. It wants that fame, it wants that Twitter clout. It wants to go viral for beating you up, so beware of the hairy-nosed otter of Southeast Asia. It might be cute, but it'll make TikToks of itself beating you up. Absolutely. Maybe it's a nose like a rabbit, hairy-nosed. That's a good joke, cat bag. Oh, I got a hype train emote. Hope you guys all enjoy your hype train emotes, and thank you for the hype train. Wait, is that an otter? Did they give me an otter? Ugh. Absolutely disgusting. I can't believe this. I'm graduating from VTubing. I can't do this anymore. Bye. Goodbye, friends. My people need me. No, I'm here. I'm back. Everybody's like, no. Wouldn't that be funny, though, if that's how I graduated? No, it wouldn't be funny. Everybody would be very sad. Yes, what my manager just said. See, my manager gets it. Otters are everywhere, even in our emotes. The next otter you need to know about? Wait, no, that's the one from before. This guy. The spotted-necked otter. You can tell because he's got spots on his neck. Very stupid name. Very dumb name, in my opinion. Others are nothing if not obvious and stupid. These guys are like 6.5 kilos, 14 pounds. I'm talking with my mouth full, very professional. They are native to sub-Saharan Africa. So you're not even safe in Africa with the lions and the leopards. No, the otters are there too. Now, spotted-necked otters have one weakness. Other than the fact that they suck. Spotted-necked otters are very vocal. They scream. I'm dead serious. I actually forgot to get a sound clip. I should have gotten one, but they let out these like high-pitched like whistle sounds. And then high-pitched like chattering sounds. Like that. It's like me when I'm drunk. Or just hungry. And so you'll be able to know when they're coming. Because they're not smart enough to disguise themselves. Not smart enough to shut the hell up. So if you're in sub-Saharan Africa, hanging out, having a good time, and all of a sudden, you hear, me, I'm gonna get you, then it's probably a spotted-necked otter. And you should probably pray to whatever god you believe in. Because they're about to get you. They got the stupid. Arby's has the meats. Otters got the stupid. Next up. Bam. Smooth-coated otter. You can tell because they're smooth. These guys you'll find in the Indian subcontinent. Southeast Asia. I think there's a population in the Middle East, too. Yeah, in Iraq. They live in family groups. Many otter species are solitary, but those guys live in family groups, which means they come pre-prepared to murder you. As a gang. Gang-related violence. Smooth-coated, smooth-brained. Except not. Here's why. These otters... Let me bring it up again. These little motherfuckers... are the otters that the fishermen in Bangladesh have bred and trained to help them fish. So these are the otters that are starting to live among humans. Look at them. They know. They know. They're laughing at you behind your back. They're laughing at you. Gross. They're on the bigger side for otters. They're about 25 pounds, which is like 10, 11 kilos. They're big boys. Not the biggest, but up there, for sure. Next up, we have an otter that is most scares me as a North American. The North American river otter. Look at him, he's disgusting. What a slut. Only lives here in North America. On this continent. Weighs about 10, 11 kilos, about 25 pounds again. Weakness. They are very nearsighted. Look at this little asshole. Fuck this guy. Very nearsighted. They cannot see far away because their vision is adapted to being underwater Like the little chodes that they are. However, let me tell you something. They have an incredible strength. I have lettuce falling out of my mouth. They have an incredible strength, ladies and gentlemen. They practice delayed implantation, which means when a female has a fertilized egg, she can wait for proper circumstances to actually impregnate herself. So she can hold on to a fertilized egg for a very long time. She does not get immediately pregnant. That means a female can move into your house, pretend to be nice, and then have little otter babies all over your floor. Like 2 years later. Well, probably not that long, but you know. You might think this is an incredible miracle of nature. It is not. It is disgusting. It should be outlawed. I for one, do not want a 20-pound, 10-kilo otter giving birth all over my stuff. All over my Nendoroid collection. All over my Hololive merch. All over my iPad. I need that. Yes, you will, Toesman. You will have to pay child care and child support and alimony if they give birth in your house. Biological Trojan horse, that's right. That's right. My wife is correct. Otter babies will crawl over your crispy white sheets. That's why it's important for you to know that you can defeat them by just standing kind of far away from them, because again, they're nearsighted, so you can just kind of punch them from across the room. They won't be able to see it. Those of you who live in South America or have family in South America, you might think to yourself, I'm safe here. There are no otters here. Wrong. You are wrong. False. There are so many otters in South America. Too many, one might say. For one, you have... Oh wait, no, we already showed... For one, there we go. You have the southern river otter. Lives in Argentina. About, again, 20 pounds, 10 kilos. And yes, it may have the smallest range of any otter species, which means it has the smallest territory, the smallest place, the smallest area you can find it in. Because of all the construction and stuff, human encroachment that goes on in South America. But that just means it's looking for a bigger territory. It's craving a bigger house. It's willing to fight you for yours. Another one. The Neotropical otter. Look at this idiot eating plastic. Do you eat fucking plastic? I don't eat fucking plastic. Look at this motherfucker eating fucking plastic. Fuck this kid. The marine otter. It may be one of the smallest otter species, at about 100 centimeters and about 10 pounds, or about 5 kilos. Like 2 feet long. But let me tell you guys something. It's still dangerous. You can find him in Peru or in Argentina. And it only lives in salt water. That's its one weakness. You will not be able to find it in fresh water. I assume if you pick it up and put it in fresh water, it will disintegrate like cotton candy. So if you ever come across a marine otter, just grab it and chuck it into a glass of water. It will disintegrate like cotton candy. I mean, look at it. Does it really deserve to live? I mean, if you're eating plastic, I don't know if there's much hope for your species at that point. Possibly the scariest otter of them all, however, is the giant otter. and look at him. Do you see him? Do you see him? Do you see him? The giant otter can reach up to 6 feet long. That is 2 meters. 6 feet long from nose to tail. It can weigh up to 70 pounds or about 30 kilos. That's a big fucking otter. Look at this. Look at him. God didn't make that. Jesus did not put that on the approval list. This is another South American otter. It lives in the Amazon River, which in itself should be a red flag because a bunch of scary things come out of the Amazon River. I think those penis-eating fish are in the Amazon River or whatever. I might be making that up, actually. Not the point. What's worse about the giant otter? It lives in family groups. It is another otter that lives in family groups. It is not solitary. And since it is not solitary, its actions have been studied pretty deeply. You want to know something about the giant otter? It is one of the only otter species that practices aggression within the species. It fights amongst itself, violently. Scientists say that it's to defend its territory from outside intruders. I say they're practicing to kill humans. Those otters are as long as me. And they are longer than most people I know. So if you live in South America, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Take this flamethrower, you'll need it. Now the next species is the African clawless otter. Lives in sub-Saharan Africa. It's like 20 kilos, 40 pounds. But don't be fooled. It may be clawless. It may not have claws. But it's the third largest otter. And the third largest mustelid. It's actually bigger than wolverines, badgers, both European and hog badgers. It's huge. It doesn't need claws to hurt you. It could smother you with its body mass. Correction, Toesman, all otters will mess you up and steal your Pokemon cards because they don't have a concept of ownership. They are completely amoral and do not know how to live in civilized society. You know what's even worse about the African clawless otter? They just realized it's actually 2 species. There's the African clawless otter and the Congo clawless otter. Both live in sub-Saharan Africa. So there's more of them. That's why their researchers are like there's either 12 or 13 species because they're still figuring out what the difference is. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, true. Bina, but it's a separate, like genetically, it's a separate species. Just the Congo clawless otter just happens to live in that area specifically, and is genetically different from the other African clawless otters. But that's not the point. The point is they will smother you with their body mass. They don't need claws, and there's more of them than we thought. Disgusting. Next up. This little miserable bastard is the Asian small-clawed otter. It is the smallest otter species in the world at only about 40 inches, which is like not even 1,000 millimeters. It's teeny tiny, and it's got teeny tiny claws. As a matter of fact, its claws do not even extend beyond its little paw pads. Hello, Careless. I'm glad you're here. I can teach you all about what you need to know about these terrible critters. You might be thinking, Iris, I can take on an Asian small-clawed otter. It has small claws, and it is tiny. You're wrong. You cannot take on an Asian small-clawed otter. Why? Well, let's go back to the 1980s, shall we? 1980s, England. A local zoo had Asian small-clawed otters in captivity. Those otters escaped the zoo. The zoo never found them. The otters established a population in the wild. So there are now Asian small-clawed otters in England, just living wild, having a good time. They're escape artists, and they're good at survival video games. So they may not have knives, and they may not have body mass, but oh boy, they'll make a society under your house. I got one more species, but probably the most abhorrent of them all. The sea otter. They are the heaviest members of the weasel family, weighing almost 100 pounds or about 45 kilos. They're usually about 5 feet long, about 1.5 meters. They live in the northern Pacific Ocean, usually around the northwest part of the United States and Canada. Society under house like in Parasite, yeah. Yes. Your terrible otter neighbors that don't pay their rent. Let me tell you why you gotta fear sea otters, folks. One, it can drink seawater. Most marine mammals can't do that. You might be thinking, who cares? Most animals can't do that. Most animals, if they try to drink seawater, it'll actually dehydrate you worse and kill you. I mean, not immediately, but like if you did that, if you drank only seawater. It's why, for instance, if you're on a boat with no water, it's actually quite dangerous. You cannot just drink the seawater. It drinks seawater. It has huge kidneys and can filter out all the salt from the seawater. That's very salty piss. Don't recommend licking it. So it took that trait upon character creation. But also, it has a very powerful metabolism. It has to eat about 40% of its body weight in food each day to maintain the heat in its cold water environment. There's a lot of food. It's like almost, for some of them, almost 50 pounds of food per day. Per day, you guys. Not only that, it is so effective at digesting all that food. It shits in about 3 hours. 3 hours after eating. It can take about 85% of the nutrients out of the food it eats. Most animals don't even get up to 50. Most animals are very inefficient, not sea otters. Not these little bastards. Powerful. deranged, nasty, evil. And they don't pay their taxes. So, that, my friends, is why otters will mess you up. But also, how you can defeat them. Don't be deceived. Even though they may seem like very, very, very important creatures to your local ecosystem, they're only trying to trick you and take your food. And take your Nendoroids and take your Nintendo DS or whatever. Remember, these are the faces of evil. These are everything that's wrong with the world. On this World Otter Day, you need to know who the true enemy is. It's not bigots. It's not the other political party, whatever that may be in your country. It's not global warming. It's not COVID. It's otters. Do you understand? Does anybody have any questions? I'll be happy to answer them. What's next week's episode? We don't have one next week, but there'll probably be one the week after. Yes, they are fluffy and cute, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous. I too am fluffy and cute. I will also eat you alive. Consensually. That's what you're into, I suppose. And you give me some money first. And all those things have to be true. For God, crinkly feet, diapers, inflation. Oh, that's what you clip? I'm gonna divorce you, Demi. Clip that, bitch. Getting a divorce. No, I love you, baby. My ears are pretty fluffy. I am pretty cute. Well then. There's no questions? Then I hereby certify you all in paw-to-paw otter combat. Go forth and wreck those little mustelids. Hunt them. Boil them, mash them, cook them in a stew. Actually, don't. I don't know. I don't know. Otters may... Otters, I don't know how otters would taste. Most predator-type animals don't taste very good. But who knows? Who knows? Remember, they're always watching and always coming for you. Thank you all for coming today. It is World Otter Day. I wanted to teach you all about some otters. I hope you feel more enchanted and or offended that you share the planet with them. Remember, I said almost all of them are endangered or threatened in some way. So, next time you go to your local zoo or your local aquarium and you see these little bastards looking at you through the glass going, we have a PS5 and you don't. It's okay to give them more money. It's okay to simp for otters. For their conservation. They are important to the ecosystem. Even if they're hateful little dickheads. I hope you learned something today. As I said, the nature streams are now back. I won't be able to do a teachy stream every week like I used to. I just do not have the time to do all the research. I wish I did. But once or twice a month, we will have a nature stream like this. I'm hoping for twice, because these are fun. And there's lots of animals we can talk about. Now then, for my usual ending spiel, course, my Discord is right there if you'd like to come hang out with us. And all my social media is right there. I would love a follow on all those platforms if you are on those platforms as well. I am all those platforms are my active ones. Except for the SoundCloud. I'm trying to get back into that. But Tumblr, TikTok, YouTube, I make content all the time. So you guys should follow me. And here's a little more about my partner push. It's really not a partner push, it's more of a trying to get a part-time income push. We've already gotten way farther this first month than I ever thought possible. I thought we'd get like 5%. We are at like, plus today, we're probably more at almost to 20. And this is the first month. Yes, follow me or I'll send the otters after you. And then they'll probably come after me. So nobody wins, very Pyrrhic victory kind of thing. And of course, I have got to thank my very special donors who donated on my 1-year subathon back in, I think it was September or October. Tricky B and Tear Sheet and Thalmologist and Fox Lunarius and Lappy Syndrome and yet another scrub. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now then, let me see here. Who's around? We shall go raid them. We shall go raid. Let's go raid It's Lady Mana, who's playing Bus Simulator. And I will see you guys tomorrow. We are playing RimWorld with chat integration. So, I will see you guys tomorrow for RimWorld. And in a couple weeks for another nature stream. And you guys take good care of yourselves and go say hi to Lady Mana for me. Goodbye.